What's going on, Rosewood? Sorry, I'm trying to adjust my camera. What's up? Welcome to the Rose Garden. This is your first time seeing my face, I always scramble on that part. I don't know why. If this is your first time seeing my face, my name is Kimberly Ann. I create this content to help people transform their lives and help them become a much better version of themselves and get you out of a dark place. I had to do it for myself. I make these videos to leave also for my 3 daughters and 4 nieces. So when they reach this point of their lives, they are able to navigate much more smoothly than I did. Check the description box below. On the way down there, hit subscribe, give me a thumbs up, and ring my bell so that you know when I post, okay? I have all my offerings down there. My book, Reclaiming Your Crown, it's the workbook. Help you start to unpack some of those dark places that are very, very condensed. It's hard to get us from under. When I say it's a game changer for your life, it is. Like, I'm not just saying that because I created it, but I did it for myself. And this is exactly what I did to help me get on this new path that I'm on now. Okay? So, back to the fun stuff. I hope you guys watch my video from last night. I need you to go watch that video because this is almost like a continuation of that. And that was in regards to just being mindful who you have around you and who is able to have access to your energy. Okay? And the reason why I say that is because those of us that have grown up in the Black and brown communities, you have a spark. And this is just a touch back on what last night's video was. You have a spark, and a lot of us don't realize we have that spark because of, old programmings that have come down the pipeline. And unfortunately, our grandparents and parents have continued the teachings even after leaving slavery. I always like to say slavery is a mentality, not a location, not a vocation. It is a mentality. There were tons of slaves that were still enslaved for 2 years, even after they were emancipated. So slavery is a mentality. One of the things that I have been doing to help break the generational curse of being enslaved by fear is I have been trying to teach my children how to cope with life from a place of love instead of a place of fear. Unfortunately for me, I grew up with one of those gangster dads, or so he thought he was. And he did not teach my brother and I how to live. They taught us how to survive in a way that more so benefited him and my mom. So it was like that crab in the bucket thing, like, don't you go too high because then you make me look bad, don't you speak too highly because you make me look bad, type thing. And I am breaking that with my children. I want my daughters to not have to learn how to love, not how to learn how to live. I want them to attract only opportunities and people that will help to carry on that same energy that I'm trying to put in them. My dad, for all of my life, even up to this day, but he's not so much now because I'm so opinionated and I stand on business with my opinions, and neither have I been wrong yet. But my dad used to teach my brother and I, oh, don't you do this, don't you do that, this happened, they'll fuck you up, sorry, you too, I cuss, but teaching you from a place of fear. And the very thing he kept trying to keep us away from, we ended up walking right into. And I only equate that to walking right into what he was telling us not to do, because he never taught us anything else. So you taught us about all the bad shit, but you never taught us about the good side to life. And what made it even worse was people who were living the good life, my dad despised. Like, he would talk down on rich people all the time. So my brother and I equated being wealthy to something so bad. Like, my mom, we would drive through the nicer neighborhoods, and my mom would say, "Oh, that's a peanut butter house. Yeah, it may look good on the outside, but it ain't. I guarantee you, it ain't shit on the inside." You know. And I used to, and a part of me used to always question that shit. Like, I used to always question that shit, always. But then, like, as I got older, and I'm looking at their life, and then looking at my own life, I'm realizing, and other people's lives, because and this is how God works. God made me a hospice aide. And the position that I had in the hospice company was to be a person that's set by the person passing, as a support for them and the family. And I got to sit in their homes. I got to talk to them. I got to learn things from them, different things like that. I don't know why I feel like something's on my teeth. My God. But yeah, I got to talk to these people. And the very homes that my mom would say were these peanut butter homes, as she classified them, I would walk in and I'd be like, it's just as beautiful inside as it is outside. I want to live like this, like, and then after talking to those type of people that my parents would despise, I'm like, they're not that bad. I've actually learned more from them than and I shouldn't say than I learned from my parents, but I learned more from them on how to survive, and how to not even survive, but how to live. I learned more from them on how to live. I learned more from them about money. I sat with a really nice white guy, and I was doing assisted living at this time. And I asked him, because he said he was in finance. And I said to him, I said, what is a lesson that you would teach someone who's coming behind you in regards to money? And he said, I'm going to say this to you. I don't want it to sound vain. I don't want it to sound very, low, mediocre, whatever. He was like, but always remember that a penny is a profit. And I was like, And he was like, do you want me to explain? I was like, yeah. He was like, if you get 1 million people to buy your product at a penny, how much money have you made? And when I did the math, I said, oh my God, he's absolutely right. And you have people out here paying Tesla, for instance. He's sold 1 million Tesla Model X's, I'm sure. And those are like $100,000 cars. So do the math. Millionaire math at its finest. That white man taught me millionaire math at its finest. And I carry that philosophy with me to this day. And it's been at least about 8 years since he's told me that. And I have applied it. But now I'm at the point of my life where I get to embody it. So that's what I mean by, like, I love how those people teach you from a place to live. They teach you from a place to be able to apply, versus my parents taught us from a place of survival. And like I say, I don't want people to go back and look at their parents like, y'all for shit. No, don't do that. Because they don't know. They literally don't know. They have no idea that they're teaching like this. They are unconscious of what they're trying to consciously teach you. Like that's the best way I can put it. So, like, I don't hate my parents. I don't despise them for where they are in life, what they're doing, or none of that. But at the same time, I wish that I had the tools that I have now. So instead of continuing the process, like what my parents and my grandparents probably have done to each other, instead, what I do is I now teach my daughters from the place that I had to learn from sitting with various people. That's what I do. So then I don't, so that way I don't keep that same survival mentality going on my daughters. And it's so funny, my middle baby today, we was driving to school, and she's like, I hate school. And I said, well, hold on. I said, this is good. This is really good. Versus, like, when I was growing up, if I had to say, oh, I hate school, oh my God, my parents would have probably wanted to kick my ass for saying that shit. They would have wanted to kick my ass. So I said to my daughter, I said, no, this is good. We're getting somewhere. We're getting into a feeling that we can process and change your feeling on what school is supposed to be like. I said, this is really good. I used it as a learning tool to help my daughter feel better. So I asked her, why do you hate school? Why do you have that feeling? And I make sure to use the word feeling because I want her to feel that and to want to change that feeling. I don't want her to be afraid of it. I don't want her to hate it. I want her to realize, okay, if this is coming up, I can change this. So I'm teaching my daughters emotional maturity through life lessons, okay? Instead of stay black and die, stay in the child's place. You know, which one sounds better? This is good. Why do you feel the way? Versus, you ain't got no choice but to go to school. Shut the hell up and get out the car. No. So by the time my daughter got out the car, because we went through it, we talked about it, and I said, what feelings are coming up for you in regards to school? I asked her, how do you feel when it's time to learn new things? What does it do to you? Like, what goes through your mind? And she's like, I don't know, Mommy. I don't feel anything. I said, well, you got to feel something. If you don't feel anything, then there's something there you're feeling. So I was like, so are you optimistic? Are you hopeful? Are you scared? Like, does it scare you? And she had said to me, she said, Mom, I feel stupid because I have bad grades. I said, no, I don't want you to feel stupid. I said, let me tell you what a bad grade is. I said, a bad grade is an opportunity for you to learn more. I said, an F lets you know that you are in a fantastic position to learn more. That means if you have a bad grade, you have all this capacity to learn so much more stuff. And that's what I told my baby. And by the time she got out of that car, my daughter was smiling. She didn't want to though. She's stubborn. She's an Aquarius, but she's a Virgo rising. She totally did not want, and I think she a Capricorn moon. Yes, so which just explains the stubborn feelings. But she did not want to let go of that feeling of, I hate this. She wanted to hold on to it. But I had to let her know, like, babe, you don't have to hold on to that. You don't. It's okay. Let it go. It is okay. But I am actually getting ready to try to make a move that will hopefully help my daughters and I have a little bit easier of a life. So I will hit you guys up in a minute once I'm done, okay? And we'll go from there. Bye. Love you guys. Thank you for tuning in. Don't forget, like, subscribe, ring my bell, and I will be in touch. Peace.